It's Thursday, April 15. Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update. Prime Minister Mia Mottley has ordered immediate action to help remedy mountain water woes across the country, triggered by a massive cleanup in the wake of a recent ashfall from the La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In a national live update from the Grantley Adams International Airport today, Mottley noted that the island's water resources are under severe pressure, and while she pressed Barbadians to conserve water even as they clean up, she said steps are being taken to assist affected communities.
I don't care where and how to do it. That if you're going to buy second-hand trucks, go and buy some. You understand? And get some potable water trucks in. Minister Goodenedgel has already spoken to the chairman of the board of the Water Authority and the general manager. Bottom line is that we do have another 9 or 10 trucks that were ordered. They're not due to come because they're new until June. But I can't wait and go and tell nobody in the country to wait till June. So that the first thing I've done is tell them go and find some second-hand trucks and get them in here. But secondly, I want to talk now as mayor, not as prime minister. There are very few people in this country that don't know people. And regrettably, we're going to have to open up our arms, our hearts to persons. Mercifully, we do not have the level of evacuation that the people of St. Vincent have to deal with. But we do have discomfort for too many of our citizens, particularly as a result of the increased use of water that is necessary in order to maintain both the public health and the environmental, the kind of environment that we need in order for people to live properly. So that there is an extraordinarily higher level of demand on water this week than there was 2 weeks ago.
Meanwhile, a massive cleanup exercise over the next 2 weeks will move into high gear with the reopening of the Grantley Adams International Airport as a top priority. Mottley said after being advised by scientists that the regularity and strength of eruptions on La Soufrière are decreasing, now is the time to get the island back on track.
The airport now represents a collective approach to resolving this problem in the shortest possible time. How many times have I said many hands make light work? And therefore, we have called all of the major contractors in the country, civil works contractors, all of the companies that have the trucks to be able to move the water from either the Bridgetown sewage treatment plant or from Oistins by the sea in order to be able to allow us to do what we have to do.
She urged Barbadians to play their part in the national cleanup.
Over the course of the next 2 weeks, my friends, Barbados is one massive cleanup site. And I'm asking every Bajan, please, to play your part. Yes, these gentlemen and ladies can do what they have to do on behalf of your government. But I need every householder and every business to play their part.
Health authorities are keeping a close eye on a COVID-19 cluster at a church in the north of the island. Word of this from Health and Wellness Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, who reported today that while the island's positivity rate is still on the decline, the pandemic is not over. He said they are monitoring a couple of situations, including the cluster at the church.
That cluster is now at about 22, 23 positives, so over the last couple of weeks or so, and we would have had about 2 more today in the figures that I just gave you. The cluster comprises members of the church as well as family members and close associates. But we've also discovered that apart from that particular grouping, that this cluster has also impacted on about 3 other institutions, one to the tune of about another 10 positives, and then 1 each at the other 2 institutions. And so there are some linkages there. And I'm saying that to you and to the country just to remind us that we must continue to follow the protocols.
The Barbados Defence Force today reported for duty on the ground in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where they will provide support to that country's law enforcement. Captain of the HMBS Rudyard, Lieutenant Andrew Walcott, said they also deliver critical supplies and they're prepared to help for as long as they can.
Our prayers goes out to the members and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we will continue to help them in all fashion, and we hope that we can be able to get back to some form of normalcy as well in Barbados too, because we also have our issue with the ash which has spread across the island. And I must say that we are expected to depart here on Friday, and we don't know. We may possibly have to be back down here soon afterwards, 48 hours to come back to bring more stuff for the people during this hard time for them.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, Jamaican health authorities confirmed that one person who had the COVID-19 vaccine has died, but says there's no evidence of a link between the death and the jab.
Director of Family Health Services at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Melody Ennis, reported that the ministry has so far received 76 notifications of adverse reactions, 5 of them serious, including a death. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa McKenzie says it's important to note there is no proven correlation.
And so if we have persons that would have died after getting the vaccine, then we will report it. If we've had persons who have had severe problems after getting the vaccine, then we will report it. This is how we analyze information. We look at patterns right across the world because these reports are submitted to the global committee that monitors these to see if there is any kind of relationship. But there has been no association between this cause of death found with COVID-19. So the vaccine is safe, it is effective.
On the international front, former Minneapolis policeman Derek Chauvin today, with his right to testify to the jury about his part in the deadly arrest last May of George Floyd, as both sides rested their cases at his murder trial.
You understand that you have a Fifth Amendment privilege to remain silent. Do you understand that? Yes. You understand that if you choose to exercise that right to remain silent, neither the state nor the court can comment on your silence as a sign or an indication of your guilt. Meaning they can't say, he didn't get up and defend himself, so equate your silence with guilt. Do you understand that? Yes. I have repeatedly advised you that this is your decision and your decision alone, right? Correct. I have advised you, and we have gone back and forth on the matter, would be kind of an understatement, right? Yes, it is. But after a lengthy meeting last night, we had some further discussion, agreed? Correct. And have you made a decision today whether you intend to testify or whether you intend to invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege? I will invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege today.
All right. Does anyone promise anything or threaten you in any way to keep you from testifying?
No promises or threats, Your Honor.
Do you feel that your decision not to testify is a voluntary one on your behalf?
Yes, it is.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.